Welcome to the Easy Vibes podcast, your escape to calm, uplifting conversations. Whether you're unwinding or recharging, we've got the perfect vibe for you. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it.
Welcome back to the Easy Vibe podcast, everyone. So glad you could join us today. I'm Chloe, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Eden. And oh boy, do we have a lively topic for you today.
Lively is an understatement, Chloe. Hey everyone, this is Eden, and I am so excited to dive into this. We're talking about music, social movements, and essentially which genre has truly pushed the needle forward the most. It's going to be a fun, friendly debate for sure.
Exactly. We're going to explore how genres like soul, folk, reggae, punk, and hip-hop have shaped protest and resistance. Compare anthems from the civil rights era to punk's raw energy and hip-hop's political fire, and even touch on newer genres. So, Chloe, where do we even begin with a topic this huge? For me, when I think of music and social change, my mind immediately goes to the folk and soul movements. Think Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, Nina Simone.
Absolutely, Eden. Folk music, especially during the civil rights era, was essentially the soundtrack to a revolution. Bob Dylan's Blowing in the Wind isn't just a song, it's a series of profound questions that challenged the status quo. It gave voice to a collective yearning for justice. And Nina Simone, Mississippi Goddamn, that wasn't subtle, but it was raw, it was powerful, and it perfectly encapsulated the rage and frustration of the Black community. Soul and blues music had this incredible ability to convey deep emotion, both pain and hope, in a way that really moved people to action. I remember hearing Sam Cooke's A Change Is Gonna Come for the first time. It hit me hard. It was hopeful, yet steeped in the struggles of the time. It really felt like a promise, a beacon of what could be. That's the power of soul, right? It connects on such a deeply human level.
Absolutely. And speaking of deep connections and powerful messages, we can't talk about social movements without bringing up reggae. Bob Marley isn't just a musician, he's a global symbol of resistance and unity. His songs transcended borders.
Definitely. Get Up, Stand Up became an anthem worldwide for fighting oppression. What's unique about reggae is how it fused spiritual messages with political ones, advocating for peace and justice, but also challenging systems of power directly. It really inspired movements for liberation from Africa to the Caribbean.
It's a completely different vibe from folk or soul, but punk also brought incredible energy to social change, didn't it? It was less about eloquent poetry and more about raw, rebellious anger. Bands like The Clash or the Sex Pistols just exploded onto the scene.
Oh, absolutely. Punk was all about tearing down the establishment. It wasn't polished, it was deliberately abrasive. The DIY ethos of punk, creating your own zines, booking your own shows, that fostered a sense of community and empowered young people to challenge authority on their own terms. It was a cultural revolution as much as a musical one. It really embodied the idea that you don't need fancy production or classical training to make a statement. Just a few chords and a lot of passion. That energy, that anyone can do it attitude was incredibly empowering for marginalized voices, fostering local scenes that pushed for change from the ground up. From punk's raw energy, let's fast forward to hip-hop, which I think has done an incredible amount for social movements, particularly for the Black community, by giving a voice to unheard stories and injustices. Public Enemy comes to mind immediately with Fight the Power.
Oh, absolutely. Public Enemy was revolutionary. They directly confronted systemic racism and police brutality, using intricate lyrical narratives to educate and galvanize. Hip-hop gave a platform to critique society, politics, and culture in a way that was both accessible and incredibly potent.
And it continues to evolve. Think Kendrick Lamar's All Right, which became an unofficial anthem for the Black Lives Matter movement. It's that blend of personal narrative, social commentary, and powerful beats that makes hip-hop so impactful. It tells stories from the street, giving insight into realities many might not otherwise see.
It's like a living, breathing newspaper for communities, but with a rhythm that makes you listen. The storytelling ability, the wordplay, the sheer artistry of artists like Kendrick or even someone like Common, it's unparalleled in its ability to dissect complex social issues and make them resonate with millions.
Okay, so we've talked about these giants of protest music, but what about newer genres? Can indie, reggaeton, or even pop genuinely spark change? Or does a genre have to be loud and overtly political to make a difference?
That's a fantastic question, Chloe. I think subtlety can be incredibly powerful. Indie artists often tackle personal struggles that resonate universally, fostering empathy and understanding. It might not be a protest song, but it shifts perspectives, which is a form of change.
I agree. Take someone like Hozier with Take Me to Church. It's not a protest song in the traditional sense, but it critiques institutional hypocrisy and became a massive anthem for LGBTQ+ rights. It's proof that a song can be deeply moving and politically charged without being shouted from a megaphone.
And reggaeton, while often seen as just dance music, has become a powerful vehicle for cultural identity and pride, especially for Latinx communities. Artists like Bad Bunny often weave social commentary into their work, addressing issues like gender equality or political corruption. That's so true. And pop, too. We've seen artists like Taylor Swift and Beyoncé use their massive platforms for activism. Beyoncé's Formation is a masterclass in celebrating Black womanhood and challenging societal norms, all wrapped in a chart-topping hit. It reaches millions who might not listen to overt protest music. It's fascinating how the medium changes the message, or at least how it's spread. From folk songs passed along by word of mouth, to radio amplifying soul and rock, to MTV pushing punk and hip-hop globally. Now, with streaming and TikTok, it's a whole new ballgame. Totally. On one hand, music can go viral in minutes, reaching millions instantly. A song on TikTok can become a global phenomenon overnight. But does that speed and ubiquity mean that today's songs still carry the same weight? Do they resonate as deeply when everything is so fleeting? That's the big question, isn't it? Back in the day, an anthem might be played on repeat for months, becoming deeply ingrained in the collective consciousness. Now, the life cycle of a trending song can be weeks, even days. It makes me wonder if there's enough time for the message to truly sink in and inspire sustained action. Or perhaps it's about constant reinforcement, smaller bursts of inspiration rather than one monolithic anthem. Like a constant drip, drip, drip of awareness. It's different, but maybe just as effective in a fast-paced digital world. We see artists constantly engaging with their audience, not just through songs, but through social media directly. So, Chloe, weighing everything we've discussed so far, do you lean more towards the raw, emotional power of folk and soul, or the more direct, often confrontational energy of punk and hip-hop when it comes to sparking social change?
That's tough. Each has a unique impact. Folk and soul created a shared understanding and empathy, giving strength to movements that were often nonviolent but deeply moral. They built bridges. But punk and hip-hop actively broke down walls, forcing uncomfortable truths into the open.
I think the global reach of reggae, too, can't be underestimated. It showed how a message of liberation and unity could resonate far beyond its origins, inspiring struggles against colonialism and apartheid. It moved entire nations, which is a powerful feat.
That's a strong point. Bob Marley's concert in Jamaica bringing together political rivals, that was more than just music. It was a moment of profound political action orchestrated by an artist. It truly transcended the art form itself.
It really makes you wonder if one genre is more effective or if it's about the right message at the right time, delivered in the right style for the specific movement. The context is so crucial, isn't it?
Absolutely. A peaceful protest might need a unifying anthem like We Shall Overcome, while a movement against systemic injustice might need the fiery critique of a Public Enemy track. Different tools for different battles, but all under the umbrella of music.
You know, I was thinking about personal stories. For me, there's a particular song by the Cranberries, Zombie, which isn't exactly folk or soul, but it's raw. It's about the troubles in Ireland, and it always gets to me.
That feeling of outrage and sorrow, it's so palpable.
Zombie is an incredible example of how alternative rock could also carry a heavy social message. The emotion in Dolores O'Riordan's voice is just haunting. It shows that anger, when channeled authentically, can be a potent force for good, or at least for opening eyes to injustice.
Exactly. And for me, that song connected me to a conflict far removed from my own experience, but made it feel immediate and urgent. It educated me in a way a history book couldn't. What about you, Chloe? Any specific songs that sparked something in you?
Oh, so many, but one that stands out is John Lennon's Imagine. It's so deceptively simple, yet its vision of a world without war, without hunger, without division, it's almost overwhelming in its hopeful power. It truly inspired a generation to imagine a better world, which is the first step towards creating it.
Imagine is perfect for that subtle but profound change we talked about. It's not telling you what to do, but it plants a seed, a possibility. It's a gentle rebellion, you could say. It reminds me that sometimes the quietest songs have the loudest impact on our hearts.
So, if we have to pick one just for the sake of our debate, which genre do you think has done more? I find myself constantly going back to the sheer versatility and enduring power of hip-hop. It's not just one movement, it's a continuous dialogue, constantly evolving, addressing contemporary issues head-on.
I can see that argument, Chloe. Hip-hop's immediacy and its ability to reflect the zeitgeist is undeniable. But for sheer foundational impact, the way it mobilized and gave voice to a nationwide movement, I still lean towards folk and soul during the civil rights era. Without that initial groundswell, would these other movements have had the blueprint?
That's a fair point about the blueprint. They certainly laid the groundwork for protest music, but hip-hop has had to relay that groundwork over and over for new generations, constantly finding new ways to articulate injustices that, sadly, persist. It's not just a reflection, it's a constant instigator of conversations that need to happen.
And what about the global impact? Reggae truly crossed cultural barriers, delivering messages of liberation and empowerment to oppressed people worldwide. It's not limited to one specific region or even one struggle. It became a universal language for freedom. That breadth of influence is hard to match.
You're right, reggae's global reach is phenomenal. It truly became an anthem for many post-colonial nations. But hip-hop is also global now, with artists in every corner of the world adapting it to their local struggles. From French hip-hop addressing immigration, to South African artists speaking out against inequality. It's a truly adaptable format.
Thinking about technology again, it's not just about speed, but also democratization. Anyone with a phone can record and release a song with a message. This lowers the barrier to entry, allowing more diverse voices to be heard, even if they don't have a major label deal. That's a huge positive.
It really is. The gatekeepers are gone, but then you have the challenge of cutting through the noise. When everyone can be heard, how do the truly impactful messages rise to the top and sustain their relevance? Does an algorithm decide what sparks change or genuine connection?
That's the paradox. It's easier to share, but harder to stick. And sometimes the very virality can trivialize the message. A deeply important protest song might become a fleeting trend, its core meaning diluted by dance challenges or memes. It's a double-edged sword.
It really is. It makes me reflect on the lasting power of some of those older anthems. They didn't have TikTok, but they had shared community singing, radio airplay, and word of mouth, which seemed to forge a deeper, more collective memory around them. Maybe slower dissemination allowed for deeper roots. Perhaps, but think of the sheer speed with which a song can now become a rally cry during a crisis. During the George Floyd protests, snippets of relevant songs were instantly shared, amplifying emotions and solidarity in real time. It's a different kind of power, but powerful nonetheless. It ultimately comes down to connection, right? Whether it's Bob Dylan's poetic lyrics making you ponder, or a punk song making you feel seen in your anger, or hip-hop articulating experiences you hadn't heard before. Music builds empathy.
It lets you walk in someone else's shoes, even just for a few minutes.
That's beautifully put, Chloe. Empathy is truly at the heart of most social movements. If you can't understand or feel what another group is experiencing, it's much harder to advocate for them. Music bypasses the intellect and goes straight to the heart, which is a faster route to change sometimes.
And sometimes it's not even about a grand social movement. Sometimes it's just one song that changes your perspective, makes you question something you always took for granted. That personal awakening, multiplied by millions, is how large-scale social change begins.
Like how pop songs, even if they aren't overly political, can normalize certain identities or ideas. When LGBTQ+ artists are celebrated in mainstream pop, it subtly shifts cultural acceptance. It's not a protest, but it's still powerful activism through visibility.
Exactly. It's less about the genre being loud or quiet, and more about its capacity to connect, to articulate, and to move people. Whether it's the raw angst of punk or the unifying harmonies of gospel-infused soul, the common thread is that emotional resonance.
And maybe that's the real answer to our question. It's not one genre, but music itself, in all its forms, that consistently provides the soundtrack and the rallying cry for human progress. It adapts, evolves, but its fundamental role remains.
Beautifully summarized, Aiden. It's truly a testament to the power of artistic expression. And as technology continues to evolve, it'll be fascinating to see how new genres and new platforms will carry these messages forward. Will we see a TikTok native protest anthem that genuinely shifts policy? It's an exciting, if unpredictable, future for music activism.
I think so. The spirit of using music to inspire change is deeply human and transcends any specific medium. As long as there are injustices, hopes, and dreams, there will be musicians finding creative ways to voice them and platforms to amplify those voices. The form might change, but the function remains.
That's a wonderful thought to end on for our discussion today. It's been such a rich conversation, really diving deep into how music shapes our world beyond just entertainment. I truly believe that the songs we listen to, especially those with a message, help define who we are and what we stand for.
Absolutely, Chloe. And to our listeners, we'd love to hear from you. What are your favorite songs of change? Which music genre has inspired you the most in advocating for a cause? Share your stories and your anthems with us on social media using #EasyVibeMusic.
Yes, please do. We always love hearing your perspectives. Whether it's a classic protest song, a subtle indie track, or a powerful hip-hop anthem, we want to know what music moves you and motivates you to make a difference in the world.
You know, I was also thinking about how pop music, despite its commercial nature, has really stepped up in recent years. Artists like Billie Eilish or Olivia Rodrigo might not be writing traditional protest anthems, but their openness about mental health or the subtle critiques of societal pressures in their lyrics resonate deeply with young audiences and contribute to important conversations.
That's a fantastic point, Eden. Those conversations are crucial. It's a different kind of activism, perhaps focusing on internal or personal freedom and well-being, which then empowers individuals to engage with larger social issues. It demonstrates that the definition of social movement can be broad, encompassing mental health awareness, body positivity, and even climate change advocacy now.
And sometimes it's not just one genre doing the work. We see incredible fusion like Latin artists incorporating hip-hop elements into reggaeton to deliver socially conscious messages, or rock bands collaborating with electronic artists to create a new sound for their activism. The boundaries are blurring, which I think is a good thing for impact.
It really is. It allows for broader appeal and reaches more diverse audiences. Imagine the folk soul storytelling combined with the raw energy of punk and the lyrical complexity of hip-hop, all amplified by global pop reach. That's a powerhouse for change right there. It's exciting to think about what future generations of artists will create.
Absolutely. So while we had a playful debate about which genre did more, I think we can both agree that music as a whole is an irreplaceable force for social change. It's the universal language that articulates our deepest desires for justice, equality, and a better world.
I couldn't agree more, Eden. It truly is. From the haunting melodies of a protest ballad to the booming beats of a revolutionary rap, music moves us, challenges us, and ultimately unites us in pursuit of progress. It's a beautiful thing.
It's interesting to consider how different genres might appeal to specific movements too. For environmental activism, sometimes you hear very ethereal, acoustic, almost folk-like music that connects to nature. Whereas for, say, workers' rights, you might get more robust, defiant anthems.
That's a great observation, Eden. The sonic landscape itself can mirror the essence of the movement. A gentle melody for preservation, a driving beat for direct action. It's about selecting the right emotional and thematic vehicle for the message. Even children's music can subtly introduce concepts of fairness and kindness.
So it's not just the words, but the feeling the music evokes. The tempo, the instrumentation, the vocal delivery, all these elements combine to create an experience that can either soothe and inspire reflection or ignite passion and propel action. It's truly multi-sensory activism.
And that's why this conversation is so important. It helps us appreciate the depth and breadth of music's influence. It's not just background noise, it's a living, breathing force for social progress, constantly adapting, constantly reflecting, and constantly inspiring. What a journey this has been.
Indeed. It's incredible to think about how a simple melody or a powerful lyric can spark a movement, cross oceans, and endure through generations, continuing to inspire change long after the initial chords fade. It's a testament to the timeless power of art.
And it reminds us that every voice, every artist, every genre has the potential to contribute. It's not about competition, it's about collective impact. Whether you're a folk singer with an acoustic guitar or a rapper with a beat machine, your message matters.
So, Chloe, after this amazing journey through musical history, if you absolutely had to pick one genre that has done the most for social movements, where does your heart land? This is the moment of truth. I'm sticking to my guns. The foundational power of folk and soul laid the absolute groundwork for every other genre to build upon. Their historical role during the civil rights movement, giving voice to millions in a time of profound struggle, is unparalleled.
I hear you on the historical significance, Eden, and it's a powerful argument. But I maintain that hip-hop's continuous, dynamic evolution and its unflinching, immediate response to ongoing injustices, consistently resonating with new generations globally, makes its cumulative impact arguably even greater in terms of sheer breadth and sustained relevance. It's a living, breathing commentary on modern society.
And perhaps that's the beauty of it. It's not a competition, but a testament to how diverse musical forms contribute to the grand tapestry of social progress. Every genre brings its unique flavor of protest, reflection, or inspiration, and together they form an unstoppable force.
Eden, that's a great way to wrap things up. So keep the music alive, keep the stories coming, and let it all inspire you. Thanks for tuning in to the Easy Vibe podcast. We'll see you next time.